research has many different kind of facets, right? And so specifically what I'm interested in is depression and inflammation. So basically those two items are associated, which it has a lot of broad implications for its treatment. So depression is just very common in cancer. So is inflammation. So there's this cancer-related inflammation. Now we have immunotherapy that kind of hones in on that. And so some very exciting work that's being done um, that can sort of take that idea of like having an inflamed milieu in your body, and then direct what an antidepressant treatment should be. But yeah, that's like my primary research interest. The other research interest is in physician well-being, burnout, resilience. I did a study actually when I was a fellow that looked at the residents as they were rotating on our HEMONC ward and looked at how distressed they were, looked at their empathy. And I had this hypothesis that they're more distressed, the empathy would go down over the course of a couple weeks, which is fascinating because that's exactly what happened, was the empathy decreased. And other doctors are generally more empathic than the general population, but during training, empathy goes down over years. But no one really showed that it could go down in such a quick amount of time. So that idea of well-being, resilience, and burnout is kind of another part of my research. Then, I mean, the third part is just in oncology, you're enrolling patients in clinical trials. So looking at, and those are more collaborative. They're sort of either sponsored by pharma or they're sponsored by large cooperative groups. Sometimes they're what we call initiated trials that are initiated by investigators. And so that's another way of being a researcher, but it's more just putting patients on trial, and seeing kind of where that goes and being part of that larger system. But it's always fun to have your little research focus, and for me that's in the psychosocial issues in cancer, mostly around depression and inflammation. And I think that the other reason why I'm interested in that topic is because it's very applicable for primary doctors, say oncologists who are treating patients up front, to start a treatment for depression. One of the big issues is that there's this gap that exists where patients just don't make it to psychiatrists, or they don't make it to therapists, right? And so, or there's a stigma. And so, looking at ways to kind of help with that.